Hello, YouTube, and welcome once again to Marvin's Marketing Madness. Welcome, welcome to the madness, ladies and gentlemen. Today, ladies and gentlemen, on Marvin's Marketing Madness, we are talking about email marketing. I'm going to give you 5 tips that is going to increase your open rate and your click-through rate on your emails for sure, for sure. Trust me on this one. But before I get into all that, I'm gonna need you to slap that subscribe button to my left and your right on the ass for me one time, either right now or before you get up out of here, whichever one tickles your fancy. So let's talk email marketing, right? Email marketing, a lot of people say is dead, it don't work. I have a few friends that tell me that they send a lot of emails and they're watching the analytics and they're noticing that nobody's opening their emails. They're not doing email marketing no more, whatever. But the key and the goal to anybody that's doing email marketing is to have a high open rate and a high click-through rate. Now, a healthy open rate would be about between 20 and 40%. And a healthy click-through rate would probably be like 3.5%. So, with the open rate and the click-through rate, what I'm saying, that's a healthy, you really want to be in that bracket. Now, open rate is determined by if someone sees your subject line and they click that boy, boom, and they open it, they want to see what you're talking about. That determines your open rate. Your click-through rate is if you have like pictures that you want them to click to open to see or whatever, might be a product or whatever, or if you have a link to your website you want them to click on to go straight to your website, sales page, whatever, that determines your click-through rate. The average open rate for like all industries for emails is like 18%. Now notice I said all industries, and I'll tell you why in a minute. The average click-through rate for all industries is like 1.9%. We just say 2% for the hell of it. So back to me saying all industries, you have to go according to the industry that you're in. Might that be health, fitness, sales, it's like a list. It's a lot of them, but you have to go according to the industry you're in when it goes according to open rates and click-through rates for emails. It really, the data makes a difference because the number one industry for having a high rate of open emails is the hobby industry. I mean, emails sent about hobbies have a very high open rate at like 27%, with a click-through rate about 4%. Now, mind you, like a healthy open rate, remember, for emails, it's like 20 to 40%. Emails that's sent about hobbies have a 27% open rate. Second is like government emails. They come in at like 26% with an open rate of 3%. So then like number one and number two, the number one and number two industries that have a very high open rate for emails. Now the industry that I'm in, or more than likely the industry that you're in, is the marketing, the advertising, the personal relations industry, and we have a open rate of 16%. Now remember, a healthy open rate is between 20 and 40. We're at 16% with an open rate of like 1.7. So, off top, we are behind the 8 ball, so in this video, we're not going to focus on what the 84% are doing wrong. We're going to focus on what the 16% are doing right. So here we go with the tips. Tip number one, your subject line. Your subject line has to be either a question or an action. Question: have you seen this? Can you believe this? Would you like to try this? Check this out. Something like that. Or you can make it an action. open this now, um, hurry up and open this or something like that. Make it an action for them to do. Give them a doing action, or make them inquisitive, you know, because your subject line is so tied to your open rate. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. So your subject line has to be either an action or a question. Tip number 2, before you pitch anything about the opportunity, service, whatever it is that you're promoting, advertising, whatever, you tell them immediately in the first 2 or 3 lines, preferably 2, why you're emailing them. You have that is so vitally important. This is what the 16% is doing. Trust me. So after you tell them why you sent the email, immediately after that, you tell them what's in it for them. Do not put yourself in the equation at all, because you're making this email completely about the prospect. Has nothing to do with you in this email. Nothing, right? So you got your subject line intact. You got the reason why you sent the email. You got what's in it for them. And then a lot of people will say, well, this is where I hit them with the link to my website. Nah. What you do is you redirect them to a piece of content, preferably a video of yourself, explaining in depth exactly what you're talking about in the email. That's why you have to keep the email as short as possible. Do not write a novel when you're sending emails, because people are not going to read that shit. They're not going to read it. So you have to keep the email as short as possible, with just explaining why you sent them the email and what's in it for them. And then you redirect them to a piece of content, preferably a video of yourself, because what that's doing is just putting a face to the person who sent the email. So now the prospect feels slightly warmed up, right? And now with the video, you can tell them in depth what you couldn't write in a novel on the email. See? So you got your subject line intact. You done told them the reason why you sent them the email. You told them what's in it for them. You done redirected them to a piece of content, preferably a video of yourself. If you don't have a video, redirect them to any piece of content that is directly talking about the same thing you're talking about in the email. Now, tip number 5. A lot of people don't answer emails because they were sent at the wrong fucking time. Tip number 5 is timing. There are 2 slots. Okay? 2 slots. Early in the morning, between like 6 and 8. Afternoon, lunchtime, between like 11:45 and 1. Right? In those 2 slots, there is a golden time where you can send emails and they will open automatically. This is what the 16% is doing when they send emails, right? The time that you send the emails is extremely key, because that the 84% are sending emails at the wrong time. They're sending them at the wrong time. So those 5 tips, I strongly suggest that you do these tips for 30 days. Do it for 30 days and gauge it and watch the difference. Just watch the difference. So that has been my 2 cents on how to increase your open and click-through rate on emails. This has been, you know what it's been, Marvin's Marketing Madness.